smack in the weary face, and a deep hollow engraved on its very being. Yet, gathering all strength, it begins to pick out the withered remains of its roots, blown up into fragments by exploding dynamites. The corpse of rain hung by the neck dangles on a tree. Right above the forest, in the oval sky, vultures gather on a feasting spree, and streams of bloody tears run down the cheeks of rivers. The spade, the pickaxe, and a few hands shed silent tears in a corner, and begin digging the grave of their own rage at the behest of some scribbled page. Just then, the perfume on the sly strikes at the stench of the machine and dynamite and steals away in silence into every blossom of the forest. Aflame with passion and new hope, the next dawn brings forth another sweet blossom somewhere in the bosom of Saranda. So, based on this poem, I have a question for Jacinta. That is from Saranda Ke Phool, or The Blossoms of Saranda that I just read. I would like to focus on the imagery in the lines, and streams of bloody tears run down the cheeks of rivers. Now, this imagery of bloody tears or flood of tears is a recurrent motif in Jacinta's work, especially in poems like Dombari Ki Awaz, or The Call of the Dombari Hill, or Lal Nadia, or Blood-Stained Rivers. In your poem, Bar Ki Namak, or A Flood in Tears, you expand this image to include the tears of 1,000 eyes shed with the building of every new dam. As early as 1999, Arundhati Roy, in her famous essay, The Greater Common Good, had exposed how post-independence dam projects in India had already displaced around 33 million people, most of them Adivasis and Dalits. So one could say that in your poems, A Flood of Tears goes beyond being, a literary idiom, a melancholic literary idiom, to speak about the environmental and habitat destruction that governs the very life of Adivasis. So could you speak to us a little bit about this connection that you consistently make in your poetry between flood of tears, bloody tears, and dam construction in India?
So I would like to tell that near my village, my village is in Jharkhand. There is West Simbhum district, and there is largest sal forest in Asia. So from childhood we were listening that this big forest is there is 700 hills are there, and it is covered by only sal forest, and it is so sal forest is and sal tree, and there is another tree, sarna tree. These both trees are very sacred trees for Adivasi people. Means every ritual, every celebration, everywhere they use this or particular festival also they use sarna and sal trees. So there is biggest sal forest of Asia very near to my village. So that's why when I was writing, and there is in this forest during this 100 years, within this 100 years, legal and illegal all kind of mining is going on, and this area, this 700 hills, these areas are full of iron ore mining. So best iron, that iron ore mines they found in this area, and that's why from all over the India people started coming to this area, and they have settled because of business and all. And that's why, because we live in so much rich resources area, and from generation people have saved and people have protected these areas also with their revolt and with their resistance. So when this all mining started, so from childhood wherever we go, we see in rainy season it looks like blood is like flowing, and in I have visited that inside that whole forest, and I have seen that because in that forest area, because of streams or a river, people survive in because they take water from river. And when in rainy season, because of this all mining, every river are like red. So like fish also can't survive, or maybe people also. So this all, this all imagery, not only imagery, because I have seen these things, it always comes in my in my poems, whether it is red river or whether it is blood, blood flowing, or yeah. And I have seen people are so connected to land when, because of this mining or land grabbing, when their field where they sometimes they harvest, and sometimes this company people bulldozer this field, they cry like their child is dying. So that's why always I have used this, like tears are like flood, it is coming out or something. So it is not just a metaphor, but it is so connected and so truth, what happens in this area. It is reality. And yeah, so that's why in my poem this kind of metaphor is there.
Right.
And there are maybe a couple of poems that speak to that. In fact, so yes, maybe we can skip that. And do you want to read the one in English first? And I'll
Sure.
do
We're doing
the river, the mountain, and the bazaar, and I'll read the other one.
The next poem that we're reading is called The River, the Mountain, and the Bazaar. It was a Sunday, and I, holding little posterity by the hand, set out for the village bazaar. Coming upon a narrow path amidst dry and withered trees, I said to little posterity, "Look, 'tis where the village river used to be. A deep furrow in the ground ahead swallowed all the mountains," I said. Suddenly, struck by fear, she held me tight. A graveyard vast and sinister lay in sight. I said to her, "Do you see? It is where the barns of your ancestors used to be." Little posterity ran on. "We are here at the bazaar. What would you like to buy?" the shopkeeper asked. "Brother, a little rain, a handful wet earth, a bottle of river, and that mountain preserved there, hanging on that wall, a piece of nature as well." "And why is the rain so dear, pray tell?" The shopkeeper said, "This wetness is not of here. It comes from another sphere. Times are lack, have ordered just a sack." Fumbling for money in the corner of my sari, I untied the knot, only to see, in place of a few folded rupees, the crumpled folds of my entire being.
And there is another poem, so in French, and the translation, in fact, from Hindi has been made by Annie Monteau, who is actually online. So if you have questions about translation, I mean, I'm sure Annie, I mean, even though we don't have the big screen and she can speak to the whole room, but still, we could have that interaction. So, Annie, if you want at the end of the conversation, that would be a pleasure. And I want to show as well the publication in French, by les Éditions Banyan, which is the book that introduced Jacinta to the French audience as well. So this one is called, in French, Les épis de riz derrière les digues. Aujourd'hui encore fout l'eau à l'âme en feu. L'âme qui brûle comme le sable du désert quand elle voit semer le grain au champ après une petite pluie. Un bout de papier à la main, debout, à garde, au bord du barrage, la revoilà qui cherche ses champs. La mer de Salaud comme une folle, chaque printemps. La ville brille de tous ses feux grâce au barrage, et Foulot a un choc en voyant l'ombre que projette sa lanterne. dans la nuit noire, son ombre. Soma a faim aujourd'hui. Ses chants sont maintenant la retenue d'un barrage. On lui voit les os, ses entrailles ont fondu. Et maintenant s'érige un barrage de larmes, et maintenant s'érige un barrage de rage. Barrages voués à rompre un jour, le jour où le fracas de la révolte ébranlera dans les montagnes les branches de Sakwa, et que s'abolira la violence qui tout déplace. Alors on doiront à nouveau, en liberté dans les champs, les épis de riz, derrière leurs petites digues de terre. So, do you want to add something to this? Or, I mean, you covered quite a bit already. I mean, I was going to, ask you also about the plunder, in fact, that is happening. I mean, you've said already quite a lot. Of course, we're going to have a Q&A, and if you have additional questions or reactions, I mean, you would be most welcome online as well. You can use the chat. I would like to shift to another kind of topic, which is also very much part of your poetry. In 2023 and 2024, you declined 2 awards, one national one and one international, to protest the violence in Manipur, the civil war in Manipur, and to express your solidarity with the Palestinian people's struggle. So, why is this important to you, and how is it connected to Adivasi resistance movements? It's a little bit this convergence of struggles. And how do you explain that Adivasi resistance movements are much less visible on the Indian stage and on the international stage than Dalit movements, who have been gaining, quite a lot of visibility on the political arena in India? Because we haven't spoken yet about that, difference between Dalits and Adivasis and also, so it's, those 2 awards that you have declined, I mean, this is quite a strong, political gesture as well, so.
Yeah, thank you so much. So in India, Adivasi people are like first or second and third generation are coming with education, I mean coming in education system. So still in different part Adivasi people still they as a Adivasi we don't know about whole India, and we don't know because very late we are starting our education, so we don't understand this politics, how in India what kind of politics and what kind of fight goes. So I'm the second generation who able to go higher education, and because of my self journey and self I'm educating myself, self education, I understood that because of so much research and from people are working on Adivasi people and Adivasi area, so they know much about us. We don't know so much about Indian politics. So from so many years there is a tendency how to keep divided Adivasi people, and if they have some problem with each other, so how to bring this how to deepen this vibhajan,
this divide, discord between people.
Yes, that's why sometime they bring some kind of decision which makes Adivasi people conflict each other, and it started in Manipur, And so many days and so many months Manipur is burning, and this whole privileged class and caste and in politics, nobody was bothering. And even in mainstream media, they have hardly they cover in our perspective in mainstream media. So I have, that's why when I was about to get for my this book, for my third poetry collection, Ishvar and Bazaar, it is one award by Times of India, this media group. And I thought maybe, and that time Manipur was burning, and I thought maybe after refusing and after with a statement, maybe I can talk about this Adivasis areas and about in media, maybe I can bring this attention, and I wanted to bring this attention, and I felt that time sometime what happens, our Adivasi area, and they are in conflict, they are burning, but this mainstream media or mainstream people give some award to show that okay, you know, we are caring, or we are, you know, bringing Adivasi people together with us. I wanted to refuse this kind of tendency also. Instead of giving us to show that how we are together, you should, you know, this mainstream and mainstream media should show Adivasi's issues, you know, to bring that Adivasi's issues. And another award I refused for Gaza, and so I was about to get one award for my children book, and there was two organizations, Room to Read India Trust and then USAID also. I rejected that because as a writer I feel when I'm traveling internationally and I can feel what Adivasi people have connected with land and how they struggle. That same pain I can, as a writer, as a Adivasi person, I can feel for Palestinian people also. And as a writer, as a conscious person, as a human being, I took that, you know, decision. And I feel Adivasi people have we are living in different places, or maybe not that much people are not educated, or maybe they don't have so much alliance with international, but when we are understanding what is happening in all over the world, I feel same kind of power, same kind of politics is happening all over the world, and same kind of struggle is going all over the world. People are struggling to save their land, water, forest, and human dignity also. Everybody wants that human freedom also. Freedom means, you know, that how to survive in this collective, in this earth with that dignity. And it is core value of Adivasi, because Adivasi people always want that freedom and dignity also to survive in this earth, wherever, in which corner Adivasi people are. And that connects me wherever, you know, in other part of world that kind of struggle is going on, and that's why I felt connected to Gaza people also.
I think this is the point when you wanted to have the weapons in my hand read.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this in French.
Yes.
Les armes dans ma main. Je vois ma mère s'en aller tous les jours, mais elle n'a pas dans les mains la pioche et le bâton. Elle a un arc et des flèches. Je lui cours après, et arrivé au sentier, je vois un groupe d'hommes qui s'assemblent. Et ma mère les rejoint pour disparaître dans la foule, qui part en criant des slogans. Ce soir-là, maman rentre avec un bandage blanc sur la tête et du sang qui coule, rouge sombre. Je la regarde bien. Je vais toucher le sang pour voir. Et j'ai les yeux, moi aussi, qui ruissellent de sang. Ce jour-là, maman m'a pris sur les genoux et elle m'a juste dit « Nous nous battons pour notre terre et pour défendre notre existence. » Après moi, c'est toi qui te battras. Le lendemain, elle est repartie avec l'arc et les flèches. Tard dans la nuit, elle n'est pas rentrée. Toute la nuit, j'ai sangloté. Je suis restée debout jusqu'au point du jour à l'attendre, mais elle n'est pas rentrée. Bien des années plus tard, j'ai compris qu'elle n'était pas partie avec son arc et ses flèches pour revenir à la maison. Aujourd'hui, je me bats pour défendre les rêves de ma mère. Je me bats avec toutes les souffrances qui me sont gravées au cœur. Je me bats depuis des siècles. Les gens n'y voient qu'un combat. Ils ne voient pas la souffrance qui me tourmente depuis des siècles. Ils ne voient pas la blessure qui saigne depuis des siècles. Ils ne voient pas les marques imprimées sur mon corps, des griffes empoisonnées, laissées par des pilleurs étrangers qui exploitent mon pays depuis des siècles. La seule chose qu'ils voient, c'est ma terre, mes forêts et les armes dans ma main.
Yeah, and
So, yes.
you asked about the Dalit struggle and then
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I want to talk about this also because in India, Dalit people struggle is all internationally and nationally also more visible because they were so connected to mainstream people, and then this they were suffered a lot because of this caste system also, because Adivasi ancestors and Adivasi people have always denied this system and they have chosen their area. That's why they have chosen forest area also. That's why they were saved from this, what violence this caste system bring. And Dalit people were so close to them, so they have suffered and they have struggled a lot, and because of that suffocation, that suffering, people started searching their way where and how they will fight this system. And that's why many people they went abroad, and then they started living there, and then they started mobilizing people internationally also, nationally also. And that's why they understand this caste system and this hierarchy, and how much it is it brings violence. So that's why that's why they have gathered to fight against